Hi guys, it is Knock Knock Neo here, aka the Happy Healthy Healer, and I know that you guys have probably noticed the rebrand, and I have news that comes along with that. And if you stay till the end of the video, I'll tell you all about it because I don't want to waste your time. You're probably here for the advice that I want to give or the insight that can help you heal, just that much faster. So today we are going to talk about the 5 doors to depression. Okay, now you probably already know this. Well, maybe you kind of like intuitively know it. If you're already depressed, you kind of already know like what I'm going to be talking about. But I don't know if anyone's really like articulated it the way I'm about to right now. So the 5 doorways to depression are helplessness, hopelessness, pointlessness, uselessness, and worthlessness. Okay, so to go into those details, and well, long story short, that if you do the opposite of those 5 things, like if you feel helpless in a situation where you feel helpless, you find a way to help yourself, right? If you are feeling hopeless, try to think of a scenario where that will bring you hope. The whole idea of I'll never do this, I'll never be able to do that. That's never true. That's not true. You being never being able to do that is just a mindset. There's always sort of like a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to find your way to get there, right? If you feel like you yourself or your life is feeling pointless or there's no purpose to yourself, then you create purpose for yourself. Go volunteer. Go make yourself feel like you're really doing good for the good of humanity or the good of the environment or the good for nature and the ecosystem or anything like that. Okay, if you feel like you are useless, then put yourself to use. Just because somebody at your workplace or somebody at school or whatever says you're useless because you can't do what they want doesn't mean that you're completely useless. When I was going through my depression, I was in depression for like 20 years. I was born into it, and the whole generational trauma thing. And when I was going through my depression, I wasn't working, but I wanted to like do something. I couldn't just sit around the couch all the time. So when I would go for a walk, I got to the point where I went out for walks all the time, and I got healthier. But then I wanted to do more because when I'm doing better, for those of you who are doing better, when you're doing better, you want to do more. You want to get better and better and better. So my healing went to the point where I felt like I could actually go outside, but I wasn't really doing anything because I wasn't working. I wasn't really earning money. I was feeling really useless. So I decided to pick up garbage when I was going for my walks like 3 times a week or whatever. And it got to the point where people would see me so frequently that they'd come up to me and they would say, like I used to litter. I would whenever I'm about to litter, I think about you, and I don't litter anymore, right? And that actually made me feel really good. That actually made me feel like a member of society and everything like that. Like I was actually like like I actually had value. You know what I mean? Which brings you to worthlessness. Worthlessness means like you are not like you're unimportant. You have no like inherent value. When you feel rejected by, let's say, you got rejected for a project or a job or even like a loved one or a partner or whatever, and they reject you, you feel like you have no inherent value because they don't need you, right? Even though those specific people don't need you, doesn't mean that you don't have any inherent value at all. You have to know that your inherent value is dictated by you, right? So that is, I think, the sum of it. Now, actually, if you don't take care of these feelings of helplessness, pointlessness, worthlessness, and uselessness, some of these examples, like when you don't, sorry, you know what? Before I do that, I'll go back to this. So we don't take care of those four, like you don't keep them in check. It's going to descend into hopelessness, right? Because at the moment, let's say you feel like you're like it's like f fuck man, like what like I feel so fucking useless. I can't do anything right, whatever. And you kind of just sit there and you're like, fuck man, what if I am fucking useless? What I can't do, like what if I, and you just feel like, what if I can never do it? Like, what if I'm just gonna be a klutz? What if this? What if that? And then you start to spiral like into hopelessness, feeling like it's never gonna change, that you're never gonna improve, that you're never gonna be good enough. And then when you start to believe it, that's when depression really will start to grab you. Where all of a sudden you're sliding down this fucking hole of depression, because instead of just feeling like no one's here to help me, or like there's no point to anything, or what's the use or whatever, you start to believe that you are useless. You start to believe like, fuck man, no one's gonna fucking help me. Like what if I can never do this? What if I can never do that? you know And then once you start believing that you could never do something, then you're just like, well, fuck, what's even the point of that? Right? What's the point of this and what's the point of that? And if you don't see the point of this, the point of that, then you're just like, what's the point of even doing anything? And then, and you start to think that there's no future for you. And then you start to think that there isn't like, that there's really nothing out there for you except, so you might as well just, feel like what's the point of even like living type of situation. So don't allow, and I know it's really hard to like catch yourself when you're in it, when you're in your feelings and it sucks and you feel like no, and your feelings start to feel desperate, or you start to feel helpless or whatever, you start to feel like there's no point to anything. Like, you really, that's when you have to acknowledge, like, okay, I'm feeling really helpless, I don't like this feeling. Okay, what can I do to like help myself, right? What can I do to help myself? And then you start to find solutions to help you stop feeling whatever it is that you're feeling, right? And yeah, I think that's really, that's really basically what I'm trying to say. So I think helplessness is covered. I think people out there know how to know what helplessness feels like. They feel like no one's out to help them. They don't know what else to do. They're out of options. That's kind of like a helpless feeling. They have nothing and they're just, just down in the dumps. They can't figure it out. So they reach out to help someone, and they try to help themselves by, like, going back to school, or unfortunately maybe even committing crimes, if that's what it has to be. You know what I mean? Would I go hungry or steal some bread from the store? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna steal bread from the store, I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's sort of the things that we have to quarrel with. But anyway, that's me just rambling. um Pointlessness. Usually people feel pointlessness when they don't like understand the point of whatever it is that they're doing, right? So it's accompanied with a feeling of like they feel like they're part of their life is a slideshow, that they're just sort of watching, or their life is a movie and they're not the main character. They kind of just feel like they're a side person, and whatever goes on, just they have no say in it whatsoever. um or they feel like maybe you're trapped in a routine. Like, for me personally, working at like a steady, like, sort of 8 hours, 40 hours a week type of job, and that whole week to week routine of it makes it feel like I'm on autopilot, and that makes me feel like there's no point to my life. Like, I have no control. By everything is run by this, like, by my job. Like, have to sleep at a certain time, I have to like prepare at a certain time. Everything is dictated by that. So I just feel like, what's the point of, like, my life feels so pointless that everything I do is just centered around this company that I have to rely on, when it comes to working my job and stuff. So that comes with the feeling of pointlessness, where it's just like, what the hell is even the point of, like, of anything? Like, you see a lot of the things going on out there. People are not able to buy houses. Things are getting more expensive. You're just like, what is the point of working so hard for nothing? So you start to like feel the pointlessness out of that. So, and that's when you have to start feeling or looking for purpose, right? So the whole secret to this is, like I said, is that when you're in your feelings, it's hard, but understand that the, doing the inverse of whatever it is that you're feeling. So if you acknowledge that you're feeling helpless, you acknowledge that you're feeling hopeless, you acknowledge that you're feeling worthless, useless, things are feeling pointless, then do things that can be the opposite. Do things that will bring you hope, make you feel useful, make you feel like you're helping yourself, that you have autonomy, and that you have say in your life. You know what I mean? If you're trying to get something particular, if you're trying to get something done, and no one's willing to help you, help yourself. Maybe you have to get educated on whatever it is that you're trying to do, but try to find a way to get whatever it is you need to get done without the help of other people. And that will teach you how to be self-sufficient. That will teach you how to be competent. That will enable you to find that will empower you to just empower you, actually, to know that you can solve your own problem, and you're like, yo, I fix that, I can solve my own problem. That really gives you a lot of trust in yourself, and it gives you a lot of power, and it gives you a lot of, like, autonomy and agency. And it actually, that all of those things help alleviate anxiety, because you trust yourself, right? You see what you can do and what you're capable of, and you see that when life does, throw you a curveball, that you can that you can catch it, or when when life fumbles the ball, or yeah, when life fumbles when life fumbles your life, then you can pick up the pieces, and you can figure your way out of like a sticky situation. So feelings like helplessness and hopelessness, all of those things, are, if you want to reframe it, there are like opportunities to there are opportunities to be stronger within ourselves, to find, and I think that's what mental health like really is. It's the ability to find solutions to basically life's problems, which is not a new concept. You know what I mean? Like, you're feeling this way, you're feeling helpless, you're feeling that way. These are things that you feel that are, life is throwing at you. Life makes you feel worthless. Life is making you feel so helpless and whatever. How can you defeat the game? How can you play the game of life and make yourself feel better? Not make you self believe that you're helpless or worthless or pointless or whatever. So anyways, that was a bit of a rant, but I think you get the picture. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening to the video, and thank you so much for staying this far. So I would like to say that happy, healthy, holistic healer is finally here. I finally got yeah, I finally went through all the mental challenges, all of the growth that I had to go through to finally believe in myself enough to launch this business. I've been helping people since about, through my talk therapy, since about 2017. And that's what, and in an effort to want to help more, I do these videos and stuff like that. But I've always wanted to really help people on a one-on-one basis, to really get in there and help them with their shadow work, help them with their unconscious beliefs, help them with their pain, and and just sort of expelling it from their body and replacing it with other good energy and all that other kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. So if you want to check out more about me and my bio and my history and why I do what I do and why I believe in what I believe in, please check out my website. It will be in the description below. It'll be in the description box below the video. You already know what it is. And please stay tuned and follow me for more content on how you can heal yourself, the tips and the tricks that I give you for my own personal healing, and any other insights. I also have blogs and articles that can help you with your healing as well. I offer emotional self-care classes for free on my website. Please check that out. If you are in a situation where you're sort of healing, or you're stuck where you are, you want to you want to transform where you are and who you are and transform your life, I have a free guide on that. What else do I have there? I have a free guide. I have free emotional self-care classes for you to help you take care of yourself, what depression looks like from a holistic perspective, how I teach you some self-validation tricks that you can use to help validate yourself so you no longer need other people's approval. I teach you a trick on how to gain self-awareness, or another perspective on self-awareness that you can do, that you can sort of detach from your emotions. A lot of really good stuff. I hope that you check it out. Yeah, and if you need one-on-one healing and help, please, let me know on my websites. And I'm really here. I've been through so much. I have so much to share. I have so much knowledge to give. And I really feel like, that's why I'm here, to help other people, because I know people out here are in pain as well. So I'm really just here to help. If I have the honor of help, if you think I can help you, and you contact me, and I don't know, it would be an honor to help you, to know that you give me, what's the word I'm looking for? It would be an honor to, yeah, it would be, because you're giving me an opportunity to heal you. That's actually kind of a big deal. So anyway, I'm rambling again. Hope you had a good day. I hope that you found this video informative and it helps you. And till next time, bye.